Biotin is literally the most popular hair supplement on the face of the earth. It's in every skin and nail supplement, and 99% of every hair growth supplement that I have ever reviewed has contained biotin as well, which begs the question, does biotin really work? And by work, I mean, does it promote hair growth or slow down hair loss? Let's look at the actual human proof. In one clinical trial, biotin deficiency was found to occur in as many as 38% of women who had complaints about hair loss. And while that is interesting, it doesn't technically prove that biotin promotes hair growth or helps you hold on to the hair you already have. The only way to know for sure is to give biotin supplements to people to see what happens. This paper from 1965 may be the very first clinical trial of biotin supplements and hair loss. And while I couldn't technically read the paper, from what I could glean from others who had referenced this clinical trial, 56 women who were experiencing hair loss were given 10 milligrams of biotin or a placebo for 4 weeks. Results showed that both biotin and placebo takers both had similar results on their hair. Personally, I don't think 4 weeks is enough time to measure hair growth, so what else do we have? Now, one thing that can cause hair loss is some acne medications, for example, Accutane. In this next paper, 60 men and women who had acne were given either their acne medication, Accutane, alone or that same medication alongside 10 milligrams of biotin, and they took each daily for 4 months. And here's where things get interesting. The group that was taking the acne medication alongside biotin, they showed improvements in the anagen growth phase of the hair growth cycle. And they also showed reductions in the telogen resting phase of the growth cycle too. In other words, biotin appeared to be helping hair growth in individuals who were taking acne medication. And that's good. However, this same clinical trial also showed that the density of hair in the people taking biotin did not improve. One of the downsides of weight loss surgery could be hair loss as a side effect. So to see if biotin might help these individuals, researchers recruited 150 women who had gone through the gastric sleeve weight loss procedure. Those women who it was determined had actual biotin deficiency were given 1,000 micrograms of biotin for 3 months. Additionally, 29 of those women who had normal biotin levels decided to start taking biotin on their own at the same dosage. So what happened here? Well, of the 22 women that had actual biotin deficiency, 5 of those individuals actually reported less hair loss. And of the 29 women who did not have biotin deficiency but who decided to take biotin supplements on their own, 11 of those 29 reported improvements in hair loss as well. However, they did not report any hair growth. This is encouraging. However, it is important to note that the improvements that were reported by the women were not deemed to be statistically significant. Here is a summary of the biotin hair growth studies that I was able to locate. Pause the video and take a closer look at the results and also how much biotin was used. What this means is that despite its popularity, the actual proof that biotin grows hair or slows hair loss in people who are not deficient in biotin is less than spectacular. Now, lack of evidence doesn't necessarily mean that biotin doesn't grow hair or slow hair loss. However, given its popularity, you would think that more people would have tested whether it works or not. Share this video with your friends so they know the facts too. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time real soon.